Welcome to Navigating Now, real talk for rocky times. A Pete the Planner CalmCast.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the first CalmCast of June 2025. I'm Peter Dunn. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we get together for 10 minutes during these uncertain times. Since April 2nd, which was dubbed Liberation Day by President Trump, our economy and the global economy has sort of been, nervous. Nervous is kind. Markets have gone down a lot, they've gone up a lot, they've gone sideways, and there's a lot of concern around the impact of tariffs. And so we take 10 minutes every other day during the week to figure out what that means. What has happened since the last time we got together? Both a lot and not much. Market's up a bit today, a couple hundred points here or there. There's threats of more tariffs. There's threats of specific tariffs on specific companies. And we know that apparently President Xi of China and President Trump of these United States should be meeting this week to discuss. I'll just say this. I'm not a prediction guy, although, you know who says that? People who make a lot of dumb predictions. Look, coming out of that meeting, there's going to be a dynamic moment. It is unlikely, in my opinion, my expertise, that coming out of that meeting, that the market will react tepidly to it. The market will either love whatever the outcome of that initial meeting is, and they'll say, all right, help is on the way. Or the market will hate whatever happens from that meeting, and the market will get hammered. So needless to say, let's say you and me that it gets hammered. Let's talk about our three items of the day. The first is the market item, which is a circuit breaker. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the global economic impact of a market and how it impacts the economies and the markets of other countries. And then good old-fashioned goal setting is the personal finance highlight. Let's begin with circuit breaker. You know, I've been doing this for a very long time. And there's just certain days where the market gets just annihilated. And I can actually remember the days. I remember where I was. I remember I was in a newsroom of the local CBS affiliate when the market got hammered by 1,000 points and like 2009. Like these things sort of happen. And there is a process in place to prevent those massive drops from just decimating people's money and the market in general, because once the ball gets rolling down the hill, then the momentum picks up and it can get very scary. So there's something called a circuit breaker that prevents, ideally by design, the market from just spiraling out of control. So I want you to understand how these work. There are three levels of circuit breakers. The first one, and this happens, by the way, it's important to note, this is based on the S&P 500, not the Dow. The S&P 500 is what triggers these circuit breakers. First one is when the S&P 500 drops 7% within a trading day from the prior day's close. And if that happens within the day, if you hit 7% down from the previous day's close, the market, everything stops for 15 minutes. A little timeout. A little timeout. See if I can hit this for you.
Timeout.
Go sit in the corner. You need to calm down, right? Or maybe just listen to
CalmCast,
right? So you get 15-minute timeout. But if the rules are fun. If the 7% thing happens after 3:25 Eastern time, 3:25 p.m. Eastern time, then they just let the market go for the rest of the day, since there's only 35 minutes left in trading anyway. The point of that is just to let everyone calm down. It's just everyone chill. Like maybe look at the other side of it and not just have the momentum roll you downhill. The second trigger that you might find is at the 13% drop mark from the previous day's close. Again, if it happens before 3:25 p.m. Eastern time, there'll be a 15-minute
timeout.
If there isn't a 15-minute timeout in place, it's likely because it happened after 3:25 p.m. And again, it's meant to be another reset. What they have learned over time is that first 15-minute timeout sometimes isn't enough. It's the second circuit breaker at 13% down that can really help. Now, how about this one? When it goes down 20% at any time during the trading day, it's just everything shuts down. It's a good thing. But just think about this. This isn't the market breaking. This is the system working. The system is, hey, everyone needs to calm down. And so at 20% drop at any point during the trading day from the previous day's close, they just shut it down. We'll see tomorrow. That has happened, and it is important that it is there. So that's what you need to know in that regard. Just also, individual stocks can have circuit breaker type rules too. They're called LULDs, LULDs, limit up, limit downs, and it protects a stock from spiraling out of control too. All right, let's move on to global impact and how all of this can matter. So what happens is that since there are several time zones, at any given time, a market is trading in the midst of a 24-hour day, whether it's the Asian markets, the European markets, or any market in between, or our own. And so what can happen on a trading day in the United States within a couple hours can greatly impact the market open of the next day. It's always weird. Like tomorrow is happening today. Welcome to a 13-hour time change. It can impact the Chinese markets opening, the Japanese markets opening, and that can spread panic, right? Also, vice versa. Let's say that the epicenter of it is happening in Europe, or the epicenter is happening in Japan. That market impact can hurt us at the United States market open. So at any given time, especially in the global economy in which we live in, it's incredibly, incredibly rare for a major world event, socioeconomic, political, violence, war, to be isolated to a single country. It's going to spread globally. And there's been no more proof than that, possibly ever, than what's happened post-Liberation Day with tariffs. A quick note on tariffs as it relates to this global impact. The United States had well over 100 countries that it was trying to do deals with to prevent these tariffs from getting weird and lasting too long and being so painful. There aren't many deals in place. So that is to say, I believe the volatility, and as you learn, volatility is mean the big swings up and down. I don't believe they're anywhere close to over. And as we learned last Thursday, the fact that a federal panel of judges came and said that some of the tariffs were illegal and illegally structured, and then that got knocked down itself. This ain't over. Like, we got 3 episodes after this of Navigating Now. I might do something later in the summer. I don't know. But I'll tell you this whole thing isn't over. So just be glad you learned some new terms and you learned how circuit breakers work. Finally, let's talk about goal setting. I mean, I don't know. How many different ways can we talk about setting goals, tracking progress towards those goals, and then achieving those goals? I mean, because I feel like for the last at least 25 years of my professional career, you just encounter the concept of goal setting over and over and over again. And I'll tell you, if you're in a place financially in your personal finances where you have no momentum, you feel like you can't catch a break, you feel like you lose, you don't win. You know how the best way to manufacture a win is to set an achievable goal, achieve the goal, look at your achievement, and then do it again. And it's completely man-made. It is a social construct, but it works. It works whether you're talking about your personal finances, your health, your fitness, relationships, faith. Goal setting works, and it is well worth your time, especially if you're in a rut. We have all been in a rut in some aspect of our lives at some point in our lives. And you can get out of it real quick by setting an achievable 30-day goal, tracking towards it, putting a little sacrifice into it, and going from there. All right, that's all I have for you today on Navigating Now. Always appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you Thursday the 5th as we hit more topics right here on the CalmCast.